Hello, people of Ghana and all over the world. As J. Click it is, we're talking about leadership skills that hone you to become an emperor in those days in the Roman Empire. And I started this conversation starting with listing all the 4 chief cardinal virtues of a man of valor, and these values you must follow, or these are the characteristics you must exhibit to become a great empire, or to be chosen to become an emperor. By listing them, I'll go over it again. If you happened not to watch my first video, I'll drop the link to that particular video in the description of this one. So when you finish watching this one, the best you can do is go into the description, click on the link, it will take you directly to the video of fortitude. But today I'll be talking more of temperance by rehashing what the 4 chief cardinal virtues of a man of valor is. This basically is teaching us how to become great leaders and the characteristics of great leaders, be it at home, in the office, or wherever you find yourself, or in school. You need to exhibit characteristics like this to be in a pole position to lead people, or to lead your contemporaries, or people who are even older than you. So in my earlier video, the very first one, I spoke about fortitude, and the details are all in that particular video, so I will not delve much about fortitude here, but I'll only like to rehash the 4 chief cardinal virtues of a man of valor. The very first one is fortitude. The second one is temperance. The third is justice. The last is wisdom. They are in no particular order. I keep saying it. You can also even rearrange it like wisdom, temperance, fortitude, and justice. So whatever way you would like to categorize it, it is the same thing. Just so you know. So I spoke about fortitude already. So today is about temperance. Every leader should have the ability to control his excesses. Every leader, if you're a leader, should learn to have the ability to control your excesses, because if you cannot control your excesses, that is why in my earlier video, when I was explaining temperance to you, I said temperance is you being able to control yourself, self-control. That's basically temperance. And in life, to be able to lead people, you need to exercise a lot of self-control in most times. Reason being that you have people who will definitely test your pulse to the limit. Will you throw your guard to the dog and let yourself loose? I don't think so. You rather keep it together and rather put in measures to let everybody follow the ideology or the leadership style of you, not losing it in difficult times. Because you cannot trade words with your subordinate. What that means is that you lose your value of a leader, and you have not exhibit enough conduct to be a great leader. So temperance basically is talking about self-control. And when you're leading people, because you're all from different homes And we have different characteristics, and our mannerism will also be different. What will be right in your eye will not be right in somebody's eye. Somebody can be wicked, somebody can be serious, somebody can be generous, and we cut across just like that. Some people are sympathetic, some people aren't sympathetic. It is just the way life works. You have to get to know this. Learn the ability to control your excesses. So controlling oneself is you avoiding excesses like eating too much, drinking too much, any overindulgence. Like basically, don't overindulge. You need to know your limit. You need to know where you are about to cross the red line. You need to know yourself, study yourself, know your character traits. And that helps you in most instances to put yourself in check. So anytime you're about to cross that red tape, you put yourself back together. You shake yourself, hey man, get this together. So refrain is very important if you want to be a good leader. Refraining from so many things. As I said, eating too much, drinking too much. It's basically about don't overindulge. Know the limits. Set boundaries for yourself. Every great leader is hard on himself before he's hard on his subordinates. You cannot be a great leader if you're not hard on yourself. Harmony. Your ability to mend yourself, how will I say it this way? Fraternize with people, like have a cordial relationship with people. You grow up together, you play together, whilst also keeping it at the back of your mind that even though I am nice, I am generous, I am overly sympathetic, I'm friendly, I'm still the wolf leading this pack. Don't over harmonize yourself. Do not let your guard down at any point in time. Because sometimes when the good time comes, sometimes as a leader, you can just let your guards down. But whilst you're being a good friend, a good listener, learn to also be a good leader. Stay firm, stay grounded, and stay resolute. Because if you over fraternize or over harmonize yourself, it's a part of human trait. They will take it for granted. So always know the limits. Find a middle ground between important things and things that are not important. Ability to disseminate, segregate. Yes, that is basically it. You should be able to come to the realization of all these things, and it helps you find a common ground between whatever it is, friendship, leadership. Do not let your guard down, even though you're as good or as friendly as you can be. Also, social order. In every society, there have to be social order. And this social order basically tells you one very important thing. Temperance is seen as maintaining social harmony and preventing chaos and excessive individual or overindulgence. As I said, you can be as much as sociable as you can be, but do not overindulge. Learning to suppress your excesses, learning to put your excesses under control, and learning to know where you are at every point in time. I call it self-awareness. As a great leader, you need to cultivate a habit of having a self-awareness at every point in time. know when to speak and when not to speak, when to keep quiet and when not to keep quiet. I always say this to a lot of people: learn to listen more than you talk more. Because when you listen more, you tend to learn a lot more. But when you talk more, you do not learn anything in return. You only share your knowledge and ideas to other people. But your ability to listen more to a lot of people help you a whole lot to learn a whole lot of things from other people, that maybe some of those things they may be seeing at the time to you is work, but as life journeys on and you encounter few instances, you realize that, oh, Mr. X have mentioned this before. You could just pick practicality from it, use it, and roll it out. In our local language, in Chico, now the Bobra kind of, you can use it to live your life. Basically, that's the meaning. So, moderation is practicing balance of avoiding extreme characteristics, behavior, emotions, and so more. That's what I said. To be a great leader, that is why blue chip companies, Google, Microsoft, Victoria's Secret, Amazon, Tesla, for them to pick you, you need to exhibit a lot of emotional intelligence. Your resolve need to be tested to the limit to see whether you have a breaking point. And if at that breaking point they can work with you, or they cannot work with you because you have not exhibited enough emotional intelligence at the time, or when you are being put to the test. So moderation and having a hold of your emotion and I do not, in my entire life, one of the things I tell a lot of people is, do not ever be an emotional leader. I'm not saying don't have emotions. You have to have emotions, but let your emotions be guided. That's why we call it emotional intelligence. Your ability to spot the black rocks from the white rocks is very important. Ability to know when to press on and off is very important. Ability when to gaslight and when not to. You just have to know the balance between this. Do not be emotional. Use your thought process a bit more often and apply your emotions to that thought process at every point in time. That is what helps. Okay, personal virtue. You also need to have your personal virtue as a leader. You should always have the personal virtue, a virtue of where you know that these are my do's and these are my do's and don'ts. You should always have it. You get it? If you don't get it, you're not going to get it. Okay, so you need to have your do's and don'ts. You have to have personal virtues. And personal virtues are very, very important in every aspect of life. Knowing when and when not. These are my do's, these are my don'ts. Because these are what sets you on a path of becoming a leader that sets itself apart from other leaders. Because we have had leaders that has done so many great things in this world. So the personal virtue basically is talking about you being considered as a character or a person of self-respect, self-discipline, and ability to be able to take own moment and own actions, take actions and own moments and step up to it. It's always good to have a virtue or characteristics as a leader where you step up and get yourself counted. When the issue comes to head, you step up and you get yourself counted as somebody who can be relied upon, somebody who has the self-respect, and somebody who can be called, this is the stuff legends are made up of, or this is the substance legends are made up of. So do not let your guard down. Have self-respect at every point in time as a leader. Let that be your personal virtue. Owning up to the moment, picking up initiative, championing it, and taking it to the last end. I learned this from my favorite movie. It's called The Gladiator. When the Emperor Marcus Aurelius was about to tell Maximus that he's old and he would like to put him in charge of Rome, he said something. He said, when a man sees an end to his life, he have to know there was a purpose to that life. It's only telling in simple way. He was only telling you that always, as a man in the context of I'm not saying women cannot be a leader, but man in a sense of man and woman. Always, as a man, you need to have an end goal. Anytime you are pursuing a course, have a sense of purpose, have a target, have a focus, and let that focus be the determining factor in whatever you are pursuing. I wanted to put Maximus there because he has found that he is the one who is capable to lead Rome when he dies. The story didn't turn out the way he intended it, but that was that particular line in the movie is trying to tell us that as a man, have a sense of purpose, have a focus, have an aim, have a goal, and go for it at all costs with self-respect, owing to the action and picking up moment and setting yourself apart. That's self-discipline. This I've been talking about at all time. Knowing yourself and practicing what is in moderation is all there is to it. So self-discipline. How do you discipline yourself? Exercising real power to overcome temptation and maintain self-control. That is self-discipline. Having the ability to suppress your excesses. Overeating, oversleeping, overlazing about. Do not be too much addicted to things. And I always put this way. Under very stressful and very difficult circumstances, either at home as a leader, at work as a leader, you have to know when you are about to cross the red line or the red tape. You know why? If it is a scenario, let me just post this way. If it's a scene, remove yourself from the scene and find a useful distraction. If it's a scenario, zoom your mind out of that scenario and find a useful distraction. One way of me using myself as an example is sometimes when I get too much heartbroken by Manchester United, I watch movies. I'm a large lover of football, just to say. I watch movies to zone me out, my mind out of that football scenario, and put me in a life where I'll watch maybe the Three Idiots, like the star on earth of the Gladiator. Then I reset my brain, then I move. Always, when you are at the edge of losing it and losing your self-respect, find a useful distraction. The word here is useful distraction. Someone else can be jogging, exercising, because exercising is one of the most difficult things to do, because it takes a lot of discipline to be committed to exercising your body and beating your body into shape. So if you can exhibit it, good to go. Well, you can read a book, you can go walk. All are useful distractions. So do not be too much, overly excess, be too much indulgence in your excesses. It doesn't make you a great leader. This particular civic duty characteristics to be able to contribute your strengths and maintain the stability in the group. Listen to everybody. Do not be partial. Listen to everybody. Have a good heart. Listen to everybody. Avoid favoritism. And you are good to go. This is SJ Click CV. I'll come your way with the third Cardinal Chief Petty of Woman of Valor. I'll see you.